Sure, it'd be nice if I was using this creep tumor, using this creep tumor, using this creep tumor. I'm sure I'll get around to some of it, but I digress. That's a fairly useless tangent. I apologize. So he sent these initial 6 Marines out just to, 6 Marines just to kill my scouting Zergling. I don't see his full force moving out. I think I have more than enough to deal with this. This is not the scariest Terran push 11 minutes into a game. He's using it to expand though, which is very smart. Safely getting a second base, even though he could have done that this whole time. But I'm not really taking advantage of having been up 2 base. I only have 36 harvesters to his 28. Could be up by much more, as many as 50 harvesters at this point. On 2 base would be pretty good amount, 50, 55. So moving these guys around, I have no idea this is coming. I have no vision of this until now when this Overlord meets its doom. So I'm going to get into a good position here. He's going to be marching on creep unless he scans for the tumor. So let's check out this engagement. He's going to be leaving my Evo chambers very exposed here. That was to prevent Hellions, but getting this around with my Zerglings and Banelings taking care of the rest of it. Even the Broodlings from my Evo chamber getting in on the action. Just completely massacring this army. So what should I do at this point? I have a ton of Speedlings. Can I really expect to do much Terran damage to a Terran? I would say no. I would say no. Most situations you're not going to be able to do too much. You can just block his front ramp. Usually they have defenses at this point. But he is actually looking fairly defenseless. I don't know this, so I'm going to poke in here and see what I can do. I imagine. No, I'm just morphing some Banelings on the outside here. Maybe with the idea of busting down his front ramp. I don't know. Not sure what I was thinking here. He's macroed up a decent sized force here. At least as far as defense goes. I sent 2 scouting Zerglings and see that his PF is not yet formed, so I'm going to go in for a kill here. This is a very aggressive move. Could well win me the game though. Send my Banelings directly into the PF. Probably should have used them to kill these repairing SCVs. Man, and PF down to 350, under 300, but he's going to hold it with these repairing SCVs. I did not take advantage of the fact that repairing SCVs now have the same aggro as a PF. I could have attack commanded, and my Zerglings would attack the SCVs with the same priority as this planetary fortress. And they would have killed them and prevented any of the repairs from going down. Instead, I lose my entire army on a risky maneuver. I got pretty close to killing this, which would have really set him back. Really would have set him far behind, but instead he's getting a second base going. He can now produce twice the number of SCVs. Probably going to be doing that for the rest of the game. Meanwhile, I'm getting some Infestor tech. Not yet expanding still. I've popped a ton of Zerglings. And again, once you get a big army like this, you should feel comfortable to take a third. You're not going to be experiencing a counterattack. Usually, but as I say that, I notice a drop coming in from the north. This is a drop I hopefully should be able to clean up pretty easily. He does have some tanks, so depending on positioning, it could be pretty nasty. I only have Zerglings. I'm transitioning to Infestors, so this is a really good time for him to make a big drop like this. You know, this is almost the Terran version of a Doom drop. Usually that term's reserved for Zerg making a drop with a ton of Hydralisks or Roaches, but he's moving in here with a really substantial number of forces. He's trying to do more than just economic damage. He's going to try to take out tech structures, maybe my lair. So I've not yet moved these Zerglings into position to defend. There they go. They don't take very long to get there, but time counts in this situation. I'm ferreting them into the front of these forces. Not an effective situation for these Zerglings. They're going to be good against these Marines, but the Marauders and tanks with medevac support are gonna clean up all of my Zerglings in addition to killing a ton of drones, working my lair down. Gonna get some fungals off now. My infestors have spawned, and I'm gonna throw some fungal on this, but Marauders and tanks, it takes quite a few fungals to kill them, just fungal by itself. Reinforcing Zerglings and Broodlings can be able to clean this up. I'm gonna take out some medevacs with my infestor. Spawning a few infested Terrans with the energy I have left. Terrans almost never get these fungal dropships to safety after I pull something like that. Yeah, not even worried. He's considered them lost, even though I have 0 anti-air except these pathetic infested Terrans and the Queen in my expo. Are they gonna kill this guy before they expire? Doesn't matter, sending the Queen over anyway. So that was an extremely effective drop by him. We can see with the supply count that I am well below him at this point, 85 to 54. He's taken a humongous lead in this game and is again expanding behind that attack of his. That's what he did the first time. He's done it again here. And I've got my third up just now, but I've lost a ton of drones, down to 30 harvesters. Don't really have any in production. At this point I really am far behind. I'm going to have to pull something out of my butt here to achieve a victory. Getting the Baneling Zergling mix back. I didn't have any Banelings morphed when he dropped. I really like that tactic by him in retrospect. It really pissed me off at the time, of course, but a Doom drop by Terrans, not something I'm expecting. I'm expecting them to do their standard slow push with tanks at the front, something I've become all too accustomed to defending. Coming in with another Doom drop, I call it a Doom drop, but that kind of implies all in. He's just making a heavy drop here. Marauders and tanks. I like the choice to do Marauders with this type of drop. Normally not as good against the Zergling composition, but they're going to be able to take out buildings effectively. Also, they're just beefy units. Very effective against these Banelings, which I send in. Don't think he even had any Marines with this attack, though. So Marauder is just going to massacre my buildings, siege tank support, medevac support. And GG, well played him. Using my patented technique of leaving the game with F10 and the N key, so he cannot return GG. It's an extremely potent technique for GGing without a response. He played great this game. He used a giant drop to get himself back in the game. There was one point where I was severely ahead, killed his whole army, had a good army myself, and instead of playing it safe like I usually do, I went in for a very aggressive attack. You'll find that pays off sometimes, but in this case it did not. Wasn't able to take down a newly constructed planetary fortress. Dramatic battle there, got it down to about 300 health out of 1500. But I couldn't pull it off, and he surged ahead in the game, made some very clever use of drop, and took me out. So that's another Hamster Sales broadcast. For those of you trying to take advantage of the 2-for-1 sale, it actually ended today, so for that I apologize.